This week on the podcast, we are joined by the beautiful Bobby Banerjee from Elev8 Learning. Now, Bobby is the director of learning or the founder at Elev8, where as a recruitment coach, in his words, he wants to be the guy to make recruitment awesome again. And he will go into businesses and he will create bespoke training programs for recruitment consultants of all levels, starting with your rookies, going through to your experienced, and all the way through to like your leadership roles as well. Bobby will do the job lot. He's also known as one of the founding members of the Recruitment Curry Club, which is a recruitment networking event that kind of does what it says on the tin. It gets a group of recruiters together over a curry to have, I guess, authentic conversation is the way he would put it. We talk a lot about the Recruitment Curry Club in this episode and how that's grown for him. This conversation for me was it was a joy from start to finish. I literally think was laughing from the get-go. Like, Bobby came in, I didn't know him too well before this conversation. He threw some things at us that I just completely didn't expect. We went all the way through his journey from how he started as a choir boy in a private school in Hull, all the way through to his move to Birmingham, to where he is today, running his business, and his struggles with his health over the last couple of years. I just thought it was fantastic from start to finish, and it was great to get to know him. And I really hope that you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. I will put all the kind of screenshots and bits and pieces up around Bobby on this video. So if you want to connect with him or if you want to reach out to him, do. He's a fantastic person and it'll be well worth your time. Enjoy.
Not a youth choir. Yeah, mate, you're gonna be speaking to probably the nerdiest guy in recruitment.
Your boss at recruitment and you're going alone. You've got your LinkedIn account and your mobile phone. You've got the candidates playing hard to get. Will they call you next week or no, not yet? So much time of going to and fro. You got another offer or salaries too low. Hours of searching and hours of stress. Come on, candidates, just Giig it a rest.
Hello.
Come on, candidates, just Giig it a rest.
You're quite a talker. So what did you say? Choir?
Mate, yeah.
Choir. What ages were you in the choir from and to?
The depressing ages of 16 to 18.
16 to 18. Okay, so that is quite late into what made you go?
Already I'm gonna get so outed for being an absolute knob end.
Oh right. That's just gone wild. So we might have to turn.
Yeah, we might have to turn me
down a little bit. 16 to 18. That is that's a
yeah,
late,
mate.
that's
also,
late,
braces,
at that age.
choir. I mean, I was pulling so hard.
Where are you living as well? Where is this?
Mate, I was living in Hull.
So in Hull. So what in Hull inspires you to go into choir? Like how did that come around?
Okay, here we go. This is just going to keep getting worse, isn't it?
I love where this has gone already.
He came in early doors and said he was in a choir from 16.
We didn't even ask him anything.
You didn't need to ask me anything.
No, what I asked is...
We just went, by the way, I'm in a choir.
Yeah.
I said, are you any good with microphones? And that's it.
Yeah, totally. I stitched myself up, but yeah. Back in private school.
Oh.
Yeah.
They have those in Hull.
Mate, well, that was the thing. It was essentially, you had to pay to have the same education as everyone else.
Right.
But you got to pay.
Right, okay.
It's why I can pronounce the H in Hull. Otherwise, it's now, all mate, how's it going? You're right.
I was going to say, you don't sound like you've got...
Mate, I don't sound like I'm anyone from anywhere. And that's my problem, I think.
Do you know what? Because you live in the Midlands, right?
Yep.
And you don't sound
Solihull. So I found another place with Hull in it.
Solihull. How far is that from Stratford?
Like about half an hour.
Okay, yeah, my dad's. I was going to say that rings a bell. My old man lives in Stratford.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll go say hello. Is he all right?
And we call him. Have you seen Clarkson's Farm?
Yes.
We call him Cheerful Charlie.
Okay, fair enough.
But he's all right. He's a nice enough guy. But yeah, he's he helps us out with the finances and stuff with Giig. So
Mate,
he does all
awesome.
the spreadsheets. So he's like the Cheerful Charlie of our.
Well, you could have had
group.
spreadsheet Sci for that.
Yeah, we could have had SciR35 as well.
SciR35.
But yeah, you don't sound like you're from anywhere.
No, I really don't.
Where does the accent come? Where do you think that comes from?
Mate, I have no idea.
Yeah,
like, literally born and raised in Hull. I essentially moved down to Birmingham because I wanted to be like. Have you seen Madagascar, the film?
Yes.
I felt like Marty from Madagascar. I was in the zoo, living my life, being the only one.
Yeah.
And then I came to Birmingham, and it was like when Marty goes back to Madagascar. It was like, oh, this is, and sees all the other zebras for the first time. Honestly, no, it gets worse. People used to take pictures on the street with me because I was the first person of color they'd ever seen.
Really?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
totally. Like I was mate, because it wasn't Hull, it was like in the villages just outside.
Okay,
And
you're on the
so
outskirts of
yeah,
Hull.
totally. And it was that was my life, mate. So
Right,
so
okay.
you can imagine I've got a sense of humor about these things.
Yeah. So that's also
Oh,
probably where the
dear.
accent comes from then. If you
Yeah,
if you're
I think I just tried. No one else had it. I don't know what this
really?
is.
I think it's good, mate. I think you sound very.
Mate,
I was
I've gone
going to say.
BBC non-regional. I've just decided, I looked at, I looked at how can I get a career, and that was the way
Well,
forward.
BBC non-regional, because in recruitment as well, that you don't sound like stereotypical recruiter either.
I was at S3 Birmingham when I first started.
Oh, was you?
And so,
Was everyone there?
mate, honestly,
I-
everyone's going to
Massive,
tell
aren't
you
I swear, everyone's been part of
S3
S3
in some way, shape,
Yeah,
or form.
yeah.
Totally. I mean, it is one of those environments that's great for lots of different things. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really fortunate too because it gave me a career. It gave me a wife. I met my missus at
did you?
at the Christmas do at Battersea.
Was she a recruiter? Is she?
Mate, she still is. Yeah.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, still is. So she works on like big old projects, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I met her whilst not even half cut. I mean, is there
okay.
there
Right.
1.5 cut?
Yeah. 2.5.
To make cut 2.5? Yeah. It was one of those things where
Just arrived in Madagascar and filled his boots.
Mate, honestly, I turned up to Battersea and
Oh, dear.
and my manager was having triple gins and tonic, one in each
okay.
hand, seeing them both off at the same time. He was making me do the same
Oh, God.
but I don't like gin. No, not happening. Sorry.
No.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Just bleep me out. Yeah, actually.
It's the least you are.
Actually, I was going to say I heard Cy C-bombing his way through it, so fair play.
Did
But-
I bleep that out? He
Yeah.
made me bleep the C-bomb. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he
did.
said he.
Yeah.
I said,
Don't
if you
know
want
why.
me to bleep anything, let me know. He was like, that word, please.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's always like that. I don't know why he's trying to tell you to bleep him out.
Everyone knows what's hidden behind there, don't they? Really?
But yeah, I had essentially 8 triples before the meal.
8 triples. I'm just trying to do the maths on that in my head. Right,
24,
Okay. Yeah.
I don't. There's other bits that I'm gonna. You're gonna. I'm surprised you haven't already found this out, but we'll go into that. But yeah, so I was absolutely shit faced.
Right.
And you have the meal, and you're like, this is either gonna make me or break me.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, got a second wind off the back of it.
Nice.
Then decided, oh, you know what I'll do? I'll get on the mechanical bull.
Okay.
So 20.
In Battersea?
Yeah, they do these. Yeah, so at Battersea Park they do have that evolution thing,
Right. Okay.
like that kind of.
Right. Okay. So
It's
out,
basically
outdoor thing.
it's one of the S3 old boys that owned part of it, so
Okay.
okay, going to use that.
Mechanical ball.
And so
That's
do
mechanical
fairground
ball
rides,
feels
dodgems,
creepy.
all that kind of stuff. So yeah, mechanical ball. I'm on it. Yeah, so I'm basically washing
After
machining
after
myself.
24 gins.
And yeah, and then, so then I'm all over the place.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
dancing around, and I see this woman having a look at me, and I'm like, normally I have absolutely no game when it comes to women
Okay.
or Riz for the Gen Zers.
Is that what it is?
Apparently,
What-
Riz,
Riz is what? Like game.
yeah,
Right, okay.
what we would have called game.
Okay.
Right.
And but for some
Riz.
Yeah. No.
yeah, but for some
Nice.
reason, mate, Birmingham, I'm getting to know all of it. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. But she looks at me, I look at her, and for some reason, I just go, right, come on then. Dance the night
That
away.
was your opening line,
Yeah.
right? Come on then.
Well, no.
Oh, that was
in
that was
my head,
that was
I gearing
internal
myself up.
monologue,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So much Dutch courage. And then, we're dancing all night, cheeky snog. She runs off. And then for some reason, I
What,
remember.
straight after the snog.
Yeah. So she, mate, tell me about it. I was like, my ego couldn't have taken another battering. So she runs off. Later, I realised because people didn't have to get home, and therefore she had to get a taxi.
Yeah.
We were staying in a hotel.
Yeah.
For some reason, I go up to her mate that I'd clocked onto during the night and went, just got all Colin Firth on her. And I don't know why this had happened, but I was like, I'm terribly sorry. Your colleague is delightful. Here's my number. I've obviously thought, I'm in a tux. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah.
I go home. I chunder.
Nice.
Like-
I thought you were going to chunder on the ball, so you've
I
done
thought,
a lot better. Than,
honestly, I'm
I had no
surprised.
faith in you when you said
I had no
mechanical
faith
ball.
in myself.
Right.
I go
It's gone a
home,
lot differently
chunder.
if you had. Yeah.
I get a text the next morning, and it's a WhatsApp. Obviously, you look at WhatsApp because I didn't have her number saved.
Yeah.
WhatsApp photo. There's 5 of them on that photo. I'm like, shit.
Oh, what have I done?
Which one of these 5 is it?
There's 5.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay, got
No, there's 5 people in that photo.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I think you meant there's 5.
it's not the 2 in hijabs. I know that much.
The two in
I'm gonna go for that one and hope it's that one.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was. Yeah, and Tash knows this story. Luckily, otherwise,
That's brilliant.
yeah, otherwise it'd be
That's
pretty ruthless. That I'm saying this on a podcast, and she's like there going, oh, okay, it's like that, is it?
Interesting way for me
Yeah.
to find out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great way to start my divorce. Cheers, guys.
The delivers. But I want to go back to the choir because we never actually found out. I'm going to let you go over.
Yeah, go on.
In my head, I was like, he's not told us how.
So back in private school, yeah.
Yes. Back in.
Hymus
school.
College for those people that have either heard of it or not.
Yeah. I had a college.
My mum decides to ring up and go. I'll obviously put an Indian accent on because I can. You can't.
Yeah.
Well,
you've made a few
I
jokes
like-
so far.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
thought- we definitely-
This is who I am. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
She rings up going, oh yeah, my son can sing.
Mhm.
I was like, okay,
That's
so
a big swing from your mum.
yeah, a huge swing.
Could
If you know anything about Asian mothers, black mothers, Eastern European mothers, the further east you go, the more ruthless and savage the mothers can get when it comes to their kids. And I know you've got a thing for Europeans, so fair play to you.
Yeah. You've listened.
I've listened. It kept on going.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where I was like, oh no, I'm just digging, and I just kept
Although I'm
digging.
annoyed that Kate doesn't know who Knife Party are, but I'll come back to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So yeah, she rings up my school, going, yeah, he can sing. So the head of music just comes at me like I'm playing in the playground or whatever. Comes at me, gets me, and says, right, I've heard you can sing. I was like, so what?
Yeah.
Then try not to, and then guess I have to, and then end up in the National Youth Choir. So
Wow.
as a baritone,
So can you still? Baritone's low, right?
mate, I'm almost
like,
Barry
whoa,
White.
whoa.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm the brown walrus of love.
Oh dear! How many baritones do you have in a choir? Just
I don't know we had about 15 in the National Youth Choir.
and what are you wear? Because I've got this image in my head of you in like the white clobber. You know, like when the Queen gets married.
Yeah. I've been in some of that before.
You've been in
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Really low voice. Like,
Yeah,
wah,
the
wah, wah,
darkest
wah,
white
wah.
guy you'd see in that. Trust me,
Where did they wheel you out to? Did you go anywhere? Or
mate. You had to go to all kinds of places. I mean, again, you're 18 and your choir tour is to Holland
Okay, that's
with a couple of nights in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was finding all kinds of things out at that point
Yeah,
in my sheltered choir boy life.
just wandering the red light district in your little choir robe, like,
Mate, red light, blue light, you name it. You
checking them all out.
got an education that night.
Yeah. Well,
But-
Amsterdam will do that to you.
Mate,
for
well,
sure.
yeah, again, Stag Do was in Amsterdam, so part 2 wasn't much better than part
Okay.
1.
Okay. So you went there with the choir, and when you were there, you thought, I know where I'm coming back.
Mate, I had no saying where my Stag Do was. I
you
just turned
not?
up. No, I had no idea.
Ah. Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's really common.
Okay. Right. Okay. Fine. I was going to
Yeah,
say the two of the stag do's I've been on, they knew where they were going.
No, that sounds like control freak behavior. I was just like,
You-
I'm just happy that someone's putting on something for me. But then I didn't realize what it was.
Right.
Was 26 of my nearest and dearest
Wow,
people
that's a big old.
That's big.
basically wanting
The whole choir.
to beat the shit
The
out of
whole
me in
choir.
some way,
The whole
shape, or
choir.
form.
It's
The whole choir, yeah, we had the.
Choir reunion, yeah.
Sorry.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So why did they want to beat the shit out of you? Sorry.
Oh, good question. I have no idea. I'm a really nice guy.
Yeah, you are a really nice guy.
But yeah, no. Ended up with a lovely lady who was beating 10 balls of shit out of me
So they
on a
weren't
booze
beating you.
barge. Yeah, no, they were just paying to make that happen and
Right,
laughing about it.
Okay.
It's just what happens with me. It's fine.
I love bloke mentality. Like,
Well, that's the thing. Like my wife, when she was having her hen do, was like, "Oh, let's go Tenerife. It'll be really lovely."
where's she from?
Oh, she's from Crawley. That's the closest I could do to a Crawley accent. Which is probably more Essex.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought you were going to say Essex. I was like, sounded like my mum.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say.
Yeah, got a villa, just the odd penis headband or whatever it is, and
penis
made to
straw.
treat like a queen.
Yeah.
Whereas stag do's are just like you end up at a hostel that looks like Hostel the film.
Yeah.
You
I've
don't after 3 days of whatever you do, like mainly getting absolutely arseholed.
Mm-hmm.
You just end up with, you're craving vegetables by the end of it because you haven't eaten properly for 3 days. All you've done is just eaten like burgers or whatever. Yeah, why do we do that to each other?
No, I don't know. It is a thing with lads. Although the last one we went on was very like tame for that, wasn't it? Like Matt didn't get pounded on much.
Yeah, that was always going to be like that, though.
Yeah,
Which is why this is Recruitment's most informative podcast, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff you wanted to know.
Mate, for sure. Well, the thing is, right, when I was coming today, I was like, I don't, in the nicest way, don't know you. I was like, I know of you. I know you exist.
I'm an enigma.
Yeah, I know you exist. I know you're out there. But I was like, I'm interested to get to know. Like, I knew you were from Birmingham, but I was like, that's it. So
Yeah, no.
I wasn't expecting choir boy, 16 to 18 years old. I wouldn't have put my money on that.
Braces as well.
Braces.
I didn't lose any teeth. So I had, that phenomenon where you got like teeth on top of teeth.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, really
Well, they're
attractive,
good
mate.
now.
Mate, had to be.
Yeah,
Well,
they're very good
two of
now.
my closest friends are dentists. It's got to happen. Now.
Oh, no, we can't go there.
Mate,
So they sorted you out. It mates rates.
Mate, totally mates rates. Well, I'm godfather to their kids, so
Nice.
I get some freebies along the way.
Close.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how did you end up? So we're in Hull.
Yeah.
We're choir boy.
Yeah.
We've just come back from Amsterdam. How do you end up? Where do you go from there?
So then went to university.
Where's that?
Went to Nottingham.
Oh, Nottingham's a good time.
The only reason I went there was because I heard of that 5 women to every guy.
Is that true?
No, of course not.
Right. I've heard that.
Do you know what I mean? It goes around.
I've heard that.
So basically, I chose my university based on that.
Did you
Then
actually?
Yeah.
Not on the how good
Yeah.
the choir is.
basically, struggle to get onto a computer science course, and
Right.
I now can't code for shit.
Okay.
So I don't know why I did that. Left.
How long did you?
2 years I tried to do.
Yeah.
I say 2 years. I pretty much did the same year twice.
Okay.
But yeah,
What were you coding? What were you?
Java, Perl, Shell, Haskell, and Python.
Oh, so not
in
like
early stages.
They do a round.
Yeah, and I couldn't do any of them. I did about Hello World in one of them.
I can do that.
And that was about it.
Yeah. I did that. I did basic HTML, CSS.
Yeah,
It came to
did that 15 minutes, put it through the compiler. Cheers, guys, I'm off.
Yeah. See you later. So 2 years in Nottingham. Nottingham's a good time,
Mate, yeah. I mean, I did everything else right at Nottingham, just not the degree.
Yeah.
Then ended up back at Hull. Did a degree from. I thought, right, basically Asian influence. Like, you must get a degree, Bobby. So yeah.
Is that kind of pressure there?
Oh my God, yeah,
Really?
yeah. Oh,
It sounds like a very soft delivery though. Not, you know what I mean? Doesn't?
I know. I'm just doing it my way. I mean, fine.
Right.
Yeah. After I came home and said, "Yeah, I can't do this anymore," she was like, "It was brutal."
Right.
Yeah, just getting PTSD. What would I say? Yeah, so
Slipper flying past your head.
yeah, so did my economics degree at Hull. Then it was 2007, so couldn't get a job in finance. I did an economics degree.
Okay.
Right.
Stayed for another year, did a master's.
Yeah.
Still couldn't get a job.
Because that's when the housing.
Yeah,
market-
exactly that.
2008. Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Was that the?
Yeah,
Yeah,
2008.
exactly that.
Yeah.
Then ended up in like a call center. Started off working my way up in a call center. Started leading a team. Then that
What just help center that.
yeah. So you might or might not have heard of Comet, the electricals company.
Oh,
Usually
like Currys.
yeah, like Curry's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know them?
No, I
Do
don't
you know?
know.
No.
I remember Curry's. I Comet.
Yeah, so yeah, started off in the call center, then kept working out. Started doing inbound sales, then outbound sales.
Okay.
Kind of did all right.
So it was a sales role, not like a help desk type.
It
role.
started off at help desk and then went into
right,
sales.
Yeah.
Got some horrible dog shit sales training, which is why I kind of probably do what I do now.
Right. I was gonna say, that's a nice
because it's so
segue.
bad. Because it's so bad. But yeah, then got made redundant there. Ended up working in, weirdly, I was just hearing Kate talk about pharmaceutical sales. Ended up at a pharmaceutical sales organization. Yeah, then
But
mum.
she was recruitment. You were actually selling the
Yeah,
pharmaceutical.
I was doing the dog's body training stuff as part of a graduate scheme in
Right.
inverted commas. And then my mum got ill, so started to look after her. Then went back to the call center.
Yeah.
Ended up selling. Then ended up working about 3 or 4 sales roles. And then got made redundant for a third time. Ended up training people that hadn't quite done so well in life. So I'm talking like 2
that's
people.
quite cool.
Yeah, it was great.
Like
Well, it was great, but
like
it was savage as well at the same time. 2 people were on the anti-terrorism register.
Right.
3 or 4 people I was regularly working with child and adult mental health services,
Right.
all to get them back into work. So
Yeah.
kind of doing like if you hadn't done A levels and GCSEs or GNVQs, BTECs, and that kind of thing, there was this thing called the NOCN diploma. So I was teaching that. Did that for a year, and then so basically at 25 or 6, I was on about 45 grand in a car, which is an RS6, which I quite quickly got. Yeah, well, I was like at 25, you're going, why have I got a fucking estate car? And then I went into it once, and then I was like, this isn't. And 9 points later, I was I could see why I was in it.
Did you tip over the 9 points, or did you?
There was a court summons to
no.
go.
Oh, God.
I need it for work, but that was back in the day when you could actually do that.
Yeah.
Well, now not so much.
Right.
But yeah, so essentially I was on. So, mate, I always talk about my weight as in 3 stone later, because
Your points.
but yeah, so stumbled into recruitment, moved to Birmingham, and yeah, stayed there ever since.
So
like 12, 13 years.
What took you to Birmingham?
Literally, well, actually, it was a night out with a mate of mine.
There's a theme here.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a theme.
it was a night out with a mate of mine. Ended up staying out until 6 o'clock, going, "Oh, Birmingham's brilliant." Then lived there. Yeah, then literally lived there, and yeah, got through. You know, S3 had this weird interview process where you had to interview with all 4 brands in the city. So there was a Computer Futures, Huxley, Real, and Progressive.
Right.
So you had to have 8 hours of interviews.
Oh Christ.
With all those. Then you came back either the next day or a couple of days later, and if you got through all 4 of them, then you chose which 2 you went into.
So you go to 2.
You had to split to 2, and then you had to choose the one you wanted to go to.
Right.
And then you know, I find like your market is chosen a bit like a sorting hat at Hogwarts.
Right. Okay.
You know, you don't have
yeah.
any choice over it. You just have to kind of deal with whatever
What they
market
give
you're
you.
given.
Yeah, I think that's standard though, isn't it?
Yes and no. I mean, I think I'd certainly when I, you know, because I've you know, I do a test where I'm trying to talk about how to get the right people. But if you've got a market that you're interested in, surely you want to pursue that, right? Like if I'd have realized that I knew a little bit more about tech than I did,
Yeah.
I'd have probably definitely doubled down into tech.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
Yeah, which I ended up doing, but I was
Right.
doing, but I was doing big data and kind of, you know, dirty analytics in 2013 when there wasn't much of a market.
Yeah, okay.
And I found that a real struggle.
Yeah, you were just a bit before your time. If
Yeah,
you'd stayed,
exactly.
If you'd have stayed, you'd
Yeah,
have,
totally right.
you'd have ridden
Because
the boom.
I had to do BI or big data,
Right.
and not touch the NHS or blue chip companies.
Right.
So I had to do like essentially I called like 150, 200 contractors, saw where they were,
this
and then went to
was-
my director and went, 3 out of the 150 are working in the market that, you know, in the areas that I would work in.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then luckily got onto essentially IT infrastructure.
Okay. Yeah.
But then you have
Yeah.
so much to go
Did
at because
Cisco for a little bit.
mate, so yeah, I was doing telephony, networking,
Yeah.
server infrastructure. You could have the whole lot, and then I doubled down on this on Linux, Linux server infrastructure. God, this is going to be really boring for anyone that's non-techie. And then found a DevOps market because I worked out that some systems administrators could code a bit.
Yeah.
And I couldn't code, but I could understand what the hell they could do.
Enough.
So
Yeah,
luckily,
yeah,
that was the
sure.
way I became consistent. I wouldn't ever say I was a mega biller. I'm not going to be one of those pricks that tries to say I was a global top biller when I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was consistent. I was that guy you could go, oh yeah, you're good for 2 deals this month, aren't you? That was it.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Nice. While catch our breath, do you want to do? You will know what's coming now. Technically, if you've listened to a couple of episodes.
Which part? Yeah.
Yeah.
You've already got a gift.
You get a gift.
Oh,
man.
mate.
Merry Gigmas to you.
Holy shit.
There's a bit of a situation here.
Oh god. Oh,
So you have 2.
why?
because we had an issue that I'll explain when you open them. But which one would you like first?
I don't know. You tell me. I mean,
big one and
I mean, the
small
Giig wrapping paper is insane.
Yeah, the Giig wrapping paper.
I thought that was just Sai putting it on, but no.
No. So this is the Giig wrapping paper.
Oh, right. Okay.
So try and you've got the mic in a good place.
Wow. That is phenomenal.
Yeah. So for the audio listeners, basically what we've got him is a cutlery set, which has got his name on it.
It's like, I'm a fatty and like eating. This is
Oh,
phenomenal.
no, I didn't expect it to go that way.
Oh, I love it. No,
I didn't
this is
expect it to go
amazing.
around that way. So the knife says the Recruitment
Curry Club, yes.
The fork says
a fork in hell. What a great gift from Giig.
Yeah.
The big spoon, which is obviously me. I'm always big spoon. Thank you. Elevate this spoon into your mouth.
Because that's his brand. That's your brand.
I love that. And then not sure how much use this will be.
Well, that's the little one. And then, you've got something else in there as well, which is along the same vein. But
what cutlery did you get me this time?
Yeah.
This is...
Can I use it?
It'll explain.
This segment of the pod is not...
Oh my... Yeah, I can't believe this is great for the listeners. Oh my God, a rainbow spoon.
Yes.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah. So that's your curry spoon. So basically what...
I'm going to use this tonight.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to.
No,
it's like what...
This is going to be at every single curry club that I attend from now on.
What, the spoon?
The spoon. Well, I mean,
okay, fine. The spoon's going to go the distance.
That is phenomenal.
It's not like one of these things, when your mum buys you a shirt and you're like, I have to wear it.
Oh, no, God, no.
Because I'm coming to Curry Club with you tonight. You don't have to be like, Luke got me a spoon.
I'm not even saying this. I absolutely love these.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're welcome, mate.
This is phenomenal.
The thing is, I panicked because I got the spoon.
And the spoon came first.
The spoon came first. And then I got the spoon and then I was like, can you eat curry with just a spoon?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
There you go.
I should have stuck with a spoon then.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then I panicked and got you the whole set.
Oh, mate. No. Thank you.
When it came in the post, I was like, that's not going to be good enough. So I went back.
No, your ignorance is my benefit. I
yeah.
fucking love that. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
pleasure,
you,
man.
guys.
Absolute pleasure. Like, it's always nice. I thought, like, when we were doing this, I wanted to give a little. I thought it's just fun to give a little gift to
mate.
everyone.
And each and every time you've just chosen incredible things. So fair play to you. You obviously know what you're
Do you
doing.
know what though? It's going to get harder. I think.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do some real. Well, luckily you're working in and around recruiters, right? So
Yeah.
So stalking is essentially the
Easy.
easiest part of
easy
it.
game. Yeah, but I thought with you as well, it segues nicely into the Recruitment Curry Club.
Cheers, man.
You've got your
You've
got your jumper on. You're flying the flag,
mate. Absolutely. Well, we're going to it later, so I thought I might as well dress up like I'm supposed to be there.
It's blown up, right?
Mate, honestly,
how long's it been going for? Is it
5 months?
right? Okay.
Right. So it literally has only been 5 months because I got pissed off with and again, this is one of my biggest bugbears, and sorry for those people that do it, but those days that are in the LinkedIn calendar, like International Women's Day and World Mental Health Day, and I hate
There's
those...
a Recruiter Day now as well.
International Recruiter Day. And Stephen
yeah.
O'Donnell kind of mentioned that to me the other day, and I was like, sorry, I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
Do I get you a card?
yeah.
But yeah, no. So I got really pissed off because those things get talked about, and companies and people will put stuff out about World Mental Health Day.
Yeah.
And then do fuck all about it.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of got on my little ranty high horse and just went, well, why don't we do something about it? Why don't we create something that actually makes sense?
Yeah.
And it's come about from, so this is something that me and a few of my mates do in Birmingham. So Birmingham's pretty good for curry, funny enough.
Yeah.
As I found out, as Marty found out by meeting all the other zebras. But
that's a brilliant reference. I love that. When did you come up
Have you
with
ever
that?
used that before? Yeah.
because I saw Madagascar too, and I saw it, and I was like, I feel so seen.
So literally, as you were watching it, you were like, I can resonate with that.
I totally resonate with that. I was like,
hilarious.
Just that probably that same joy that you saw with me opening the rainbow. Because funny enough, I played golf and I was going to get some wedges that were exactly the same color scheme. Right. I was like, nice. Amazing.
Well, it's very similar to what you've got on your thing.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
Why I
love
that. Went with that
Mate,
color.
I totally love that.
But then, as I say, I panicked.
But yeah, so there's about 5, 6, 7 of us who we meet up, either as many of us or as few of us as we can.
Yeah.
And all we do is just meet up in a curry house. And actually, it gives us an opportunity to not be, husband, father, whatever, business owner, whatever it is. It just gets you to be a person. You can just talk about what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And given the thin veneer of how recruiters will generally go, yeah, mate, smashing it, mate, you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm tired of seeing the same old shit. So I just thought I wouldn't be backward in coming forward. And yes, I've had a few things going on recently, health wise, and so just able to, getting people to talk openly and honestly, and even from hearing from, because I speak to Kate every once in a while, and knowing what she's gone through, and feeling that you feel quite isolated when you're a sole business owner, and you're probably feeling the same, the two of you, because you're there, the two of you, but then every interaction is to try and build your business, right?
Yeah,
and it feels a little bit like, how can I just take the gloves off for a little bit and actually just have a proper conversation with people in our industry?
Yeah.
And so we thought we'd try it out, and it seems like people wanted it.
Mate.
And it's almost like people have missed being in a room together and having a chat. So fair play.
Yeah. Because where is it now then? Like,
where is it?
Yeah. What country?
All over the place. So yeah, what was supposed to be just meeting up wherever the hell we meet. It's now been in Birmingham, Manchester, London, Reading. Obviously, there was one at the curry at the expo, the worst curry I've ever had.
Yeah, I saw you guys there. I did say I'd come and I bottled it.
Yeah,
but
no,
it was the.
But it's okay to bottle it. You can do whatever you like.
You saw me the next day and you were like, it was you dodged a bullet.
Genuinely, it was genuinely some of the worst curry I've ever had.
Just the actual food.
A, the food, and B, the fact that it took 4.5 hours to get served.
Oh my god!
No, sorry, 3.5 hours.
Still,
I'm making
that's
it.
a long.
But yeah, but it
long...
was one of the funniest evenings. And again, it's they didn't tell us it was bring your own booze, so we just had to go out and try and find booze from somewhere. Okay. It was just properly like if Fawlty Towers did restaurants, that would be
nice.
But yeah, it was one of the funniest nights ever, and it was just great to see lots of different people who, that I wouldn't have probably ever spoken to in a more formal setting.
Yeah,
it's just nice to get to know them, and there's some great people out there in our industry, and it's great to see.
Yeah, there's also like a level of collaboration that seems to be coming in the industry which wasn't there before.
Totally, and
well.
I think
which this kind of thing plays into.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So people are classing us as a recruitment network, but not really, because if anything, we're getting the heads of other recruitment networks coming along to have a chat, which is great. That's what we want.
But
I think there's a load. I think when I was at S3, you'd go on a night out, and you'd almost get like, have you ever seen Anchorman? Because you guys are quite right. You know the fight scene between all the other news stations.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what Birmingham felt like on a Thursday night. It's like, oh, there's the Huxley team.
Right, yeah.
Oh, who are they? They're Venn Group. It's and then inadvertently there'd always be someone that stabbed a guy with a trident, and that's fine. But yeah, like for some reason, if I always look back at that and I go, imagine if those people actually talked to each other on a proper level, things would have been so much easier.
Yeah.
Things would have been so much better. You'd have actually been better recruiters off the back of it. Or, like obviously you're in the CRM wars at the moment. If people actually spoke to each other in the industry as opposed to just pieing each other off, it would be so much nicer. And there's loads of space for everyone. Like there is, the recruitment market is an incredible market to be in and around. And it's full of amazing people, and it's a massive thing, and there's loads of space for everyone. So why not have a conversation where you could all learn from each other and get to kind of, people are doing business with each other. People are referring people to other people. It's mega. That's all we'd ever want.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like
and you raise money for charity in the process, so even better.
What, with Curry Club?
Yeah. So what we're doing is that. So we charge people that 20 quid.
Yeah.
Of which Eventbrite are currently taking about £3.50.
Yeah, I think it was 22. I think it was 22. I think they take 250. I think.
Oh, did they take you?
It cost me £22.
Oh, did it?
Ticket.
Oh, well, I'll give you some money back.
No,
it should be. No, sorry, that's right.
I'm not
22 because that's what. Yeah, that's what.
They're
charging on top.
Yeah. 250.
And then everything else we try and do. We'll take a bit of money off the bill tonight, but then the rest of it will go to. So we've got 2 charitable partners.
Nice.
One of which is Radical Recruit, who you may or may not have ever heard of. Emma is an incredible person. What they do is they try and get people who have been care leavers, neurodivergent, and struggling to find work, and lots of people from lots of different backgrounds.
What did you call them?
Radical Recruit.
Radical Recruit.
And get them back into the world of work. And so so all they want is people's time. So I've just been working with a couple of their people and just helping them gain kind of confidence and career skills again.
Right.
Nice. So, which is mega. Like I say, and she'll put a post out. The recruitment industry will get behind and they'll get people. There was an autistic guy that's incredible at finance, and they got him an opportunity. And
Oh,
I
it's
think
like,
I saw this in the WhatsApp.
yeah.
I think I might have seen.
Yeah,
I think I
absolutely.
might have seen a message in the WhatsApp that was like, it was when I was new into the WhatsApp, so I didn't get the context
yeah.
of it. But they chucked up that there was a thank you message for all the support because someone had
And that
just
was it.
landed
And
a job.
it's great to have made that kind of
That is pretty special,
difference.
actually.
And then Calm, the campaign against living miserably. So
Okay.
so they want our time, and these guys want our money, and so that's kind of worked quite well. So any of the money that we don't use towards that goes into that.
That's
so,
amazing.
that's
Do you know
really
how
cool.
much has been raised so far?
Well, basically, it's a bit like when a load of lads go for a curry.
Yeah.
So everything goes into my non-used Monzo account.
Right. Okay.
So at the moment we've got
So
about
you're sitting on all the kit.
mate, yeah, but it's about. Don't worry, if yeah,
That's
guys.
how they make their money.
We
That's
can't.
how they make their
Yeah, we can't.
We've
We
lifted
can't.
the veil.
Yeah, we can't. We can't sponsor you guys at Calm. Sorry, but in other news, I've got a Bentley.
Yeah.
No, in all honesty, there's only about 400-ish quid at the moment.
Still though.
But we've now got 7 or 8 happening a month, so we can start to see.
That's really
7 or 8.
cool.
Yeah,
5 months.
Yeah, it's been
Mad, isn't it?
ridiculous.
What
Absolutely
do you
ridiculous.
think's made it go like catch fire like it has?
I don't know. Like I just thought I thought honestly it would just be 4 people in a pub.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's all I thought it would ever be. But I think when, like, do you know Barry?
Do we know Barry?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Backdoor Barry.
Everyone knows Backdoor Barry. So when I posted that ranty,
Barry's fantastic. We sat with
Yeah.
him recently at the a dinner we went
Team
to.
conference.
oh,
so
the
next to
pre-team
it.
conference
Yeah,
dinner,
yeah,
mate,
he
he's
was-
absolutely phenomenal. You should
he
try and get
was-
him on. He'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
He,
Next time I see him, I'll
The
ask him.
stories that he has to tell about our industry.
Really, yeah.
Oh
I
my
imagine-
God.
I
I
sat next to
imagine.
him. I probably heard 3. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
he just
Yeah,
loves
he's-
it.
he's
So
brilliant.
so I put that ranty post out. Barry literally WhatsApps me going,
Oh,
right,
your ranty post of like, why don't we do some shit
yeah,
about
do
this?
something.
Right, gotcha.
He was like, right, we're gonna make this happen. And I was like,
yeah.
okay, shit. Like you want to be on Barry's good side, you don't want to be on his bad side. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have the money to be on Barry's bad side.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was like, right, let's make it happen, and then we got
That's
involved.
cool.
Yeah, and then we were like, who do we get to do the marketing? So James got involved,
Okay.
and then Nitin came to one of the first ones, and I was like, do you want to be part of this? And he was like, oh yeah.
Nice.
And so yeah, it's just kind of snowballed from there to have our little board of people, and we're affectionately, weirdly calling ourselves the Curry Cartel. No one else is calling us that.
Yeah.
But it's that, which is a bit of a
Curry
prick move.
Cartel.
But hey, it is what it is.
I've seen like Chief Narn Officer. I've seen
Yeah. Nitin's that.
Oh, nice.
I've
Yeah,
seen some role titles.
Nitin's got one job, and that's to take the Narn order, and he's not here to do it. So, so yeah. But then Sarah Higgs, who's like a VA for the recruitment industry, she wanted to get involved, and so
Okay.
she's helping us out.
Nice.
And, yeah, and it just keeps snowballing from there. We're getting people like, do you know Dave Jenkins from Wave?
He's just connected with me on LinkedIn. That's the bloke I said there.
Oh, really? Yeah, because he's helping run tonight.
Right.
so
he's
he's-
literally just connected with me.
Yeah. So he's
Before you
helping.
turned up.
Yeah, because we've now got regional ambassadors for
Yeah,
places. It's
I
like
saw
That's
that.
so
it's
cool,
gone,
isn't it?
it's
That's
gone
cool.
nuts.
Yeah.
Of which one of them's Louise Triance, which is immense.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like the fact that she wants to get involved to do something like this. Love that.
She's like the driving force behind the expo, right?
Yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of a big deal in the event space. So
Yeah,
she wants
yeah.
to help us with our
You could
little
have a curry
events.
stand at the next expo.
Mate, well, I'm sure.
Like,
Louise, give us that for free, please.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, no, that's it. We just want to be able to say, can people talk about their problems? Maybe create that safe space.
Yeah.
And try and do that. Why not?
yeah.
But yeah, so it's
So what do the
growing.
ambassadors have to do? Is there
Well,
responsibility?
basically, just help us grow the area. We
Right.
can't. I'd love to say I could go for a curry 7-8
I was
times.
going
a
to
month.
ask how many you're going to.
Well, I've been to most, and then didn't go to the couple of one in London because I ended up getting gallbladder infection, which I wouldn't
Wow.
recommend.
Oh, yeah.
You've
Basically,
been through the ringer, haven't you,
Mate,
mate?
we haven't even dropped the C bomb yet.
No, we've not. We've not dropped the C.
But yeah, no. So yeah, So I missed that, but like I say, I'm with a client up in the northwest. I'm going to do one next week in Manchester.
Nice.
Already about 6 or 7 people are showing up, and it's like it's mega.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the? Is there an end goal in it for you?
Yeah, that Bentley. No,
Right.
no.
Watching that 400 quid.
Yeah.
it's like-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to live off the interest of 400 quid, guys. Cheers. It's just like making that first placement when you're a trainee. I'm going to live off it for free. But no, the idea, in all honesty, I didn't really have a vision for it. It was just more a case of, if people want this, then we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And so that's all we've kind of gone in with. And,
Yeah.
And yeah, so like we've got Bristol happening soon. We've got Glasgow. We've got somewhere else,
So funny,
Southampton
isn't it?
and Brighton. Like,
Wow,
you know, people.
that's so cool.
But it's just amazing. There's so many people in our industry that just want to meet up and just talk,
Mm.
and that's fine. You know, and that I love that.
Do you know what I think is good about it? Right, is like with the all the chatter around AI and tech and how that's going to disrupt everything. There's still like things like this. I think showcase a little bit that humans. There's still an element of like we want to meet in person and do that thing.
Of course there is.
I thought you were going to say. I thought you said the Curry Club's going to disrupt the market.
Yeah, we're gonna
their new AI,
mate. We've got guys. Forget about that AI CRM. But no, yeah, I think there is still a place. But I think because when you first messaged me, it was through Dripify. I remember that much.
Yeah.
And
I told you that, didn't I?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and you can kind of see the difference between getting to know you as a person versus knowing the content you put out there. And yeah, when I was hearing like Sai and Sam Razda, because I was at that Rumble, but you didn't mention me about that. But that's okay.
What
you know when Sai talks about Sam Razda?
Ah, right.
I was also at that Rumble.
You were there, but he didn't. He didn't. Oh, yeah, because he said he went on stage before or after Sam.
Yeah,
but yeah, okay.
And
So you were there as well.
and because you know we know that there's these things happening. I mean, like I say, would you be writing those things in real life? And I think people can sense the difference between what you write on text versus who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And if you can keep writing just like who you are as a person, then fine. But problem is we start to think we have to be really formal, and those Dripify messages need, you know, we've got one chance, and so we've got to make it as formal and pitch slappy as possible. And you don't really need to do that, because all you want to do is try and connect with people. And I think, you know, in this day and age, that human element, nothing's going to replace humans. I just think, you know, shit processes and shit things are going to get replaced. So if you're a human doing those shit things, you're probably going to have to look for new work. Yeah. But that monotonous, boring, same old stuff that can be easily taken by AI. I mean, I'm preaching to the converted here, but there's got to be an element of human interaction, otherwise it doesn't work. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of why I wanted to always meet in person for these as well. When we were talking about doing it, I was like, I think there is something about the human. And I think the other thing for me is when you talk about there with the Dripify thing, it's good because you're like far reach, right? Like you can hit a lot of people, but like for me, the messages that impact are when I've seen like a post that say you've done or someone's done, and then my intro message is, hey, just seen that.
Exactly.
And that's what you can't replicate with Dripify, because it's just
it can try. I mean, obviously, like ChatGPT you can put something into ChatGPT and it can say that, oh yeah, I understand what you put in.
Yeah.
But it can't then use that to create an outreach flow and that kind of thing. And so it's really difficult to do because a lot of stuff gets lost in translation, I think, at the moment.
Right. Okay.
You know, who knows what will happen in the future? But you know, from the dicking about I'm doing with my, you know, with the custom GPTs that I'm creating, you kind of see that still. I mean, there's about 7 or 8 times that I've asked ChatGPT to stop with the long dashes on my stuff, and it's like it goes, yeah, I'll do it, and then it doesn't.
Right.
So there's always still kinks in all of these things.
You got hit with, you changed your job title on them.
Did you see that?
That's a good one. I thought that was good.
So just last week, I changed my job title in LinkedIn. I don't know why, to just trying to be a normal bloke from Southend-on-Sea.
Love that.
And then I got a message from someone at the back end of last week saying, "Hi Luke, as just trying to be a normal bloke from Southend-on-Sea, could you at Giig, could you be interested?" And I was like, okay, that's an example there of how the AI has picked up my job title and gone.
No, I was going to see if I could still see it. Oh yeah, there you go. Just trying to be a normal bloke from Southend-on-Sea. I love that.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. I can't have had I was saying to Andy, I just went with it last week. But yeah, I do think it's exciting for you guys, this thing that's growing. But it's interesting to know where it will go for you guys.
Yeah, so Nitin and I
have been frugal. It doesn't pay the bills, does it?
No, of course not. And it's not there to do that. It's more a case of, you know, it's kind of nice that people go, oh yeah, you're that guy. You're, you know, that curry club thing.
You're the curry guy.
Yeah. Which
You're the curry guy.
luckily,
You're the curry guy.
I've gone from being the only brown guy in Hull to being the curry guy.
Yeah.
It's come full circle.
That's what we should have written on the old spoon.
Yeah,
the curry guy.
I'll put that on my LinkedIn and see
the curry guy
and see what that says.
Well, next time.
But yeah, no. But what I've just noticed is it gets people talking. It gets people saying something. And like, you know, I've had people reach out to me and say, you know what, just from the conversations that we've had, I've done something different, or someone started out their own agency, or like I've been speaking to, you know, I spoke to someone who's I don't know whether you know a guy called Stu Roberts, name checking him.
Stu Roberts, that's not Stuart from Team, is it? That's
that guy.
Yeah, You know, Stuart.
He's the
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
he's,
yeah,
he's like
yeah,
the
yeah.
supplier partner board
Yeah,
member
yeah,
at team,
got you.
right?
We do
But
this every time we
I got
every
to-
time every time we say
Yeah.
Stuart, we go,
Stuart.
I don't know, and then
I
we
got to I got to
I know
speak
exactly,
to him at
but
the first London Curry Club that we did at Tyabs.
Oh, so he's been to one. Right,
He's been to a few. Yeah, he goes to every single one in London.
Oh,
now.
does he?
And
he's a great guy, actually.
oh my god, like
He's
and
awesome.
again, I wouldn't have been able to have a conversation with him like I would have done unless it was for that setting.
Yeah.
And he gave me more financial advice in 15 minutes chatting to him
Did
than
he
I probably
really?
had from my accountant in 3 years.
Yeah, that's
And-
cool.
Yeah, so it's like stuff like that you wouldn't know because like obviously, you know, you guys are, you know, wandering as the two of you. There's obviously people like the, you know, people that you previously interviewed. There's loads of people going it alone,
Yeah.
but people don't realize what's available to them.
Mm.
And yeah, look, you know, I had a pretty shit year last year. Everyone had a shit year, but I guess I had top trumps of a
Yeah.
shit year last year.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, I didn't know how to navigate things, and I thought, oh shit, my business has taken a massive hit for 8 months.
You were out of work, weren't you? You were
Yeah, I
sick,
was out
right?
of work. I was literally in bed recovering from you know cancer therapy, and it was, you know, just is what it is.
And you're the only person in your business, right?
No, there were two of us,
Right,
but one
okay.
was trying to keep it ticking along, and fair fucks to him. He was doing an incredible job, but we couldn't grow, and
Yeah.
so whilst that was happening, everything else was dwindling. I was paying 2 wages, and it was a really tough time.
I bet.
And so I didn't really know what my options were. And
Yeah.
so speaking to people like Stu and Nitin and a few others and Barry and a few others, and it got me really realizing that there's so many options out there. So even when you don't think that there's an option,
Yeah.
there's buttloads of options out there. And it's
Yeah.
actually all of us being able to get our collective thought about how to run a business, because I fudged a business. You know, I kind of did it just before the pandemic. I went solo just before the pandemic hit.
So 2019-ish.
November 2019. I
Right.
got my first I got my
Nice.
first contract in. I got you know 5 or 6 other bits of work for you know for 2020.
Yeah.
And then obviously the pandemic hit, and no one wanted training, and I was brand new, so
Yeah.
I wasn't on Rishi's good list of getting loads of money from people.
You're right. Okay.
So
Couldn't call in a favour.
yeah,
there from Rishi.
Yeah.
you'd have thought, you know, brown on brown crime is
Private
not a
school
thing.
as well. There
Yeah.
must have been some connection there.
Dad was a doctor, yeah, all that kind of stuff. But no, absolutely not. No,
there should have been a connection, surely.
mate, yeah, just give me a couple of million from your wife's estate. That'd be great. But no, so like I couldn't get any bounce back help or anything like that. So I was fucked.
Right.
And so, you know, if I'd have known how to navigate those things, and again, you know, you wouldn't do, because you're just flying and you're thinking, then you start back up again, and obviously the recruitment boom hits. Everyone's making incredible amounts of money, and
Yeah,
I was doing, you know, academy upon academy, and everyone was like, "Oh no, we don't need biz dev. It's okay. We're doing all right at the moment."
So what's academy like?
So junior recruiters. So you know,
Okay.
if they're brand new into a business,
Yeah.
getting them ready to properly bill.
Right. Okay.
Um,
So that's your sweet spot, is it?
Not really. It's
Right.
just what I ended up doing quite a lot of.
Right, okay.
But yeah, my sweet spot's more like coaching people to get from kind of billing to consistently billing, then from consistently billing to get up to those kind of higher echelons of being a top biller.
Okay.
Because that's where I see the most money happening. You know, I see the most value in what I do.
Right. Okay.
Because I've been a coach for 7 years. So like I've gone through all the coaching qualifications and all that kind of
It's
stuff.
qualifications. I didn't
Oh
know.
yeah, totally.
What,
You can't.
recruitment specific.
No, just coaching.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, right, yeah.
but obviously I've done the recruitment part, because I used to be, you know, did a bit of recruitment at S3, and yeah, so it's just like one of those things that I just thought, right, that's the thing that I really want to do. But then, you know, then obviously everything's happening. You know, you're just getting the work coming through. You don't know what you're really doing. You're fudging a business together.
Yeah.
And you don't really know until the times are pretty difficult how to structure a business properly.
Sure.
And you know, I'm pretty ignorant at the best of times, and so I didn't really have a tax account and those things, and so
Right,
it's
okay.
actually
Yeah.
shit. That's gonna bite me
It's gonna
hard.
sting.
And so now I make sure that I've got a tax account, and you know, so I've got 3 bank accounts with the same bank, so I could siphon the money off into the appropriate areas.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have known that until you know. I guess it takes failure to be able to learn properly,
For sure.
and that's okay. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you guys have probably had to do the same, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, building Giig kind
Absolutely.
of been it's not a linear path to success.
Learning curve. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like for me, I started in 2017.
Yeah.
And I had a business before that failed, and then we joined forces. So I was on my own then from 17 to 20.
Yeah.
What year did you come in?
21
So he came in 21 and James.
October 21. Yeah. So
James, who builds the product, came in 21. So from 17 to 20, it was me fucking trying to figure it out, banging my head against the wall on my own. Then these boys came in. We've tried a different product that we pushed for 2 years, which had some actually all right years, but had scalability issues. Like we could see long term was
Well,
going to be the right product, and we now changed again.
What you've got now probably isn't ever going to be the final product, and that's
it's so
okay.
different to what it was
Yeah.
5 years ago. Man.
We say this. We were saying this the other day. It's like if we'd have we pivoted 2 years ago. If we'd have done that from the start,
we'd be flying.
We'd be in a completely different place right now, like in the journey. But actually, then you haven't gone through that massive learning curve of.
Well, that's it. And
finding
sometimes
where we are now,
and that's the thing. Like all your mates and everyone around you is really great at the beginning. Oh, wishing you the best of success.
Yeah,
they'll be great at the end when they see some people be amazing with you and go, oh, thank God you made it. Those nice people, and then there's those assholes that are like begrudgingly saying, yeah, well done, guys. But no one kind of respects that messy middle.
Yeah,
and there's so much that goes on in that no one ever knows about, and I think that's what we wanted to try and hopefully get more people talking about because because it's really hard.
It's fucking really hard. Yeah. And there's so much you're not prepared for.
And you don't know. And the problem is you're in the biggest job you've ever been. And I'm in the biggest job I've ever been in, as far as I am the MD of a company, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know jack shit. And I'm quite...
This is a great...
No. You know Curry.
I know Curry. I know...
Flyers.
I know I'm a good coach. I know I'm a good trainer, but I'm not really a business person. You fudge those things as you go along.
What makes you say that?
Because I really struggled with, almost like the basics, like, working out what to do with my tax,
right?
Working out how to make sure that I've got enough runway coming through, because you don't really think about it. You think it's a bit like the good times, like, oh my God, that's like a 15 grand invoice.
Yeah.
And then you're not really planning to go, right, okay, so how do I make that last?
Yeah. When do I actually collect that cash?
When do I actually,
that kind of thing.
Exactly that. How do I allow myself the proper dividends and make that work in the right way, and all those weird and wonderful things, or how do I make sure that I'm planning for the future, and all, which is what you do if you're a good business owner, but you don't learn that until you get stung, right? Or you've got people that have been there, done that, got the t-shirt, who can help you. And I've gone for the latter option because getting to know people in our industry, there's so many of those stories, and until you say, oh, it's about anything, the moment you actually show you're vulnerable to someone, they'll go, yeah, you know what, I feel that.
Yeah.
But normally we don't do that because we're not very good at being vulnerable to start off with.
No.
And like you said, you didn't really know me, and that's cool. But we wouldn't have been able to know any of this stuff until we actually got into a room. And that's it.
The other thing as well is sometimes people that have been through it know it, and it's sometimes a lot easier than you think it. Like, it's one of those things that, like, as soon as you find, like, so you go to someone and say, I'm really struggling with this, and they're like, oh, this is how you solve that problem. Yeah. And you're like, brilliant. And you're like, now I know. That's so easy. Exactly. I never knew it was that easy.
Which is annoying because that's what I do for other companies. But then I forget that I could get that help myself.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, so true, that is your job. You
that
go
is
in
literally
there.
my job. But the problem is you get so tunnel vision into going, oh shit, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
And it obviously it wrecks with your mentals. You're there just staying up at night, and actually the sole source of us staying up at night and being worried about things is because we haven't talked about it with someone that can help.
Yeah, true. How long, just go back to your illness last year, how long did that take you out for?
So I mean, I got diagnosed with a really treatable form of cancer. So I mean, it looks like I've
I've seen that before.
Oh, wow.
But it's great. It's great to because chicks dig scars, right? God. Oh, I'm a wanker. But yeah, so I got diagnosed in December 23, which was 4 days after my 40th birthday.
Wow. Midlife
chef's
crisis.
Kiss of a time frame, that.
Happy birthday.
Then
deal with that.
Then literally had 3-4 operations, pretty much month on month. Then went through 5 weeks of radiotherapy. So I basically had the same thing as do you know Rod Gilbert, the comedian?
Yeah.
And you might have seen his like, he did a documentary about it, but basically I went on the same trial as him, and so it's savage. And I didn't, and again, I'm always happy to talk about what happened, my journey and stuff like that. But everyone's journey is different, and that's the one thing I'd say. And like, when you're building a business, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I'll give you some advice," and you don't need that advice. It's the same as when you're going through something. You don't need that advice because unless it's come from a really good place or from people that know what you're going through, you're never going to take it. And so yeah, so then had radiotherapy, and I tell you what, radiotherapy is one, a motherfucker for absolutely everything, but
Really?
two, amazing for weight loss.
Right.
Yeah. Who needs a Zempic? Yeah. But I told you I'll go between serious and ridiculous all the time. But yeah, so that essentially knocked me out until, so literally from December till.
How much weight did you lose? Sorry.
So basically, because I know you were talking about stones and kilos on another podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
love asking people's weight. Apparently,
I fattened myself up. Because basically they told me there is a small chance that I might not be able to taste food again.
Wow.
And I was like, shit, Bobby loves food.
Yeah.
This is
facts.
so Bobby's going to try and eat all the food
now.
So basically, I fattened myself to about almost 19 stone.
Wow.
About 120 something kilos.
Yeah, big lad.
And then got down to at my lowest I was 101.
Right, okay.
So
Wow.
4.5 stone.
Yeah.
And then now my weight loss goes in like, you know how everyone goes, oh yeah, I dropped a couple of pounds or gained a couple of pounds. Mine is in half stone.
Right.
Everything is in denominations of half stone.
It just hits you.
Yeah,
You
like
step on the scale
it's just like 3 kilos here, 6 kilos here.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely ridiculous. But now it's just going upwards, which is probably not a good thing. But yeah, no. So I wasn't properly. Well, I was about 50%
Yeah.
by October last year, and I
So
was
it's
trying
23,
to.
so that's
but
a whole year.
So essentially, I was a whole year out.
Yeah, wow.
And so obviously I'm there, because the thing is I'm in bed, I'm feeling pretty fucking miserable about myself.
Yeah.
And I'm looking on LinkedIn, and I'm looking at everyone else going, yeah, I'm doing really great. I'm doing amazing, and I'm like, oh,
He's gone back to Essex.
oh,
again.
I hate
Yeah. Everyone's in
because
Essex.
everyone in recruitment's from Essex, right? But yeah, like you're going through it and you're seeing that all that positivity, and you're like, shit. And then you're making yourself feel much worse, and everything's getting bad. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something after radiotherapy. I'm going to hike 3 mountains.
Oh, nice.
In one go.
Nice.
So the Yorkshire Three Peaks, but I did it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
did it 8 weeks after finishing radiotherapy.
Right, okay.
Wouldn't recommend that.
Right.
And it was August bank holiday last year, and I could have died because
Was it hot?
no, it was the complete opposite. It
Right, okay.
pissed it down.
Can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
sounds
it
about right.
pissed it down. There was something called Storm Betty,
Right,
or something
okay.
like that was happening.
Yeah.
And I was on the 3rd mountain of the 3, well, hill really.
Mm.
And basically, you've got to try and scramble up.
Yeah.
And, I'm pretty weak at this point anyway, which I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And there's a massive gust of wind going. And I had this hat, which can only say, basically, because I had to cover my scar at the time, I had this hat that made me look like I was on some kind of register.
Right. Okay.
But that blew off mid maneuver, and I was like, fuck, I've just beaten cancer, and this is how I fucking go.
This is
But yeah,
blown
it's
off the peak.
yeah, just blown off the
Yeah.
peak. Just what I wanted. And so yeah, it was so between all that, and like I say, through that time, these mates of mine that I set up my actual curry club.
So was this
That's who got me through.
So did that thing with your mates, did that form after this, or was that already
during? So
okay.
yeah, so basically
during
it was just before. Like I've been doing this for a couple of years with my mates, and they're all from really different walks of life. So I've got one of my mates who's a marketing director.
Yeah.
I've got another one who is a dentist. My dentist.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've got
Makes
2
sense,
people
Steve.
that have got some of the best jobs I've ever heard of.
Right. Okay.
1 tests racetracks for Jaguar Land Rover.
Wow.
Nice.
So
Test
goes around-
racetracks.
Goes around the world testing racetracks to make sure that you know like Myra, I think, which is around here somewhere, isn't it? Like
Right.
those test tracks to test vehicle performance,
Uh-huh.
rather than race.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
again, with Jaguar Land Rover.
But
I'm
when
sure
you say he tests the racetrack, he checks that the racetrack
he
is
literally
suitable
goes around the world checking that they're suitable.
for the testing of the cars. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So
got
do-
you now.
And phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah. Because I
and
thought
then-
you were going to say he tests cars for Land Rover.
Yeah,
but he tests
I've
the
got a
tracks.
guy who works in like data and analytics, and then I've got another friend who, again, one of my favorite job titles I've ever heard of, and companies I've ever heard of. So
Yeah.
he's the chief problem solver in
Uh-huh.
engineering for Bugatti.
Nice.
So he's currently working on
what
their
problems do
5
they have?
working on I tell you what, it's phenomenal. Some of the stuff that my mate says about their board meetings,
Right, okay.
brilliant. But yeah, so he's helping build a €5 million hypercar at the moment.
Wow.
And so yeah, he never like,
And
so
you
we just
turn
talk
up and
about
you're
it.
like, I work in recruitment.
Who's your hiring manager? No, but he undersells himself, and I keep trying to build his confidence to try and ask for more money.
How would he sell it then?
Huh?
What would he say?
What that he does?
Yeah.
Oh, I just come in and I fix some problems, and that's about it, really.
Right.
But I know that Marta Rimats, the guy that owns the company, is going, yeah, Martin's going to solve our problems. Like, that's how well thought of he is. But he doesn't think like that. And it's weird to, part of the
Very
recruiter's
humbling.
job is to actually try and build these people up into where they should
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
But yeah, so we just get to meet up over. So Birmingham has an incredible culture around mixed grills.
Okay, nice.
Desi pubs.
Nice.
So they have these pubs that have been taken over by Indian staff, Indian owners, and they'll make Indian food, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we just meet up every once in a while, and we just get to chat shit and talk about what's going on in our worlds. Maybe some football, although as a Hull City fan, I can't talk about football in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, it's just don't look at me like that. I'm still true to my roots, kind of.
Well, I don't even know how they're doing this season. Hull.
They'd just been avoiding relegation in the championship. Yeah. No, luckily I messaged Si when QPR, as they quite regularly do, they donate us 3 points out of pity. So that was quite nice.
Nice. Yeah. You got to get that one in early.
Yeah, totally.
I
don't know. Just I'm more thankful rather than.
Cheers, mate. The big question that I had with you. So, like with the situation, you're out for a year. Did you ever consider going back to work for someone else and throwing the towel in on the business? Like, what I guess the question is, what made you get out of bed and go, do you know what, I'm going to get back in?
Not to neg you out, but there was times that I thought that wasn't actually going to make it. So yeah, I was looking at all of my options at various points, and even I was even fairly recently I was entertaining the idea of going perm.
Right.
And then I realised
how recent?
Probably like in the last 6 months.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because the business was really struggling, and I don't give a shit about the bravado that business owners think they need to have.
Yeah,
things weren't great, and I guess I've got a reason.
Yeah,
but it was there. It was then looking at it, going, well, actually, I've now but out of I guess that pressure, you create different things.
Right.
I'm not saying diamonds, and I'm not going to be that wanker.
Yeah.
But like while I was in my hospital bed, I was thinking, how can we get hiring right for recruitment?
Mm-hmm.
And so I've created I'm in the throes of creating a almost like a psychometric test for recruitment.
I remember you saying this.
And so that's in the process of getting funding. I've just recently tried to turn my hand into creating a training tool for recruiters through AI, which is what I'm trying to use. And so there's lots of different things that I think you can do.
Yeah.
But, and I think people think, because again, I guess I'm the business.
Yeah.
So if I'm not training and coaching, or if I'm not out, or if I'm not doing these events,
hours,
if I'm not, exactly. If I'm not putting in the hours, then no one gets paid.
Yeah.
And so you've got to think differently, and you've got to think, well, actually, what do I want to become? And funny enough, a chat with Nitin. So we're thinking of creating the Mixed Grill podcast.
Right. Okay.
Nice. Just off the back of essentially.
Where does he get the time, man?
He's everywhere.
He does so much.
He hasn't got time. He's everything, everywhere, all at once. But
is that Mixed Grill podcast what I commented on?
Yes,
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, so we're thinking, could we run it in if we do have those odd times where we could do it in a restaurant, or if we can do it in Nitin's broom cupboard. Sorry, podcast studio.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jajaji.
State of the art.
Yeah, state of the art. But mate, don't worry about what because I know you were talking about what equipment you guys have.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Couple of microphones you do anyway.
I said that to Nitin, and he was like, "Dude, like online, it looks like a good enough studio." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a little cubby."
Well, didn't Si walk in here and be like, this is better than I thought it was going to be?
That's how low his expectations are, I swear.
Well, I made the mistake of turning right just after the snow dome.
Oh, you went up, okay,
yeah. So it came in that way,
and
ended up in a couple of flats around there. I was like,
uh-oh.
Okay, I see how this is gonna end for me.
Text your wife being like, if you never see me again, here's my pin.
Find my iPhone. But no, I think people care too much about the vanity aspect of things.
Yeah,
and actually, you're creating something amazing just by inciting these conversations and the stuff that you guys come out with between yourselves, and it's great. So just allow yourselves to be nice to yourselves. I know Kate says that she's really crap at being nice to herself.
Yeah,
I'm the same. We're all really bad at it.
All the same.
Because we're all thinking, because we're all thinking, oh my god, but it could be better.
Yeah, of course.
And it's such a savage little mentality to have. It's great at times, but it's also fucking hard because you don't pat yourself on the back.
No, for sure.
And so allow yourselves that.
Yeah,
every once in a while.
Yeah, it is tough though. It is very tough. How is the business now? Was going to be my next.
Getting better. Yeah, getting better. Like I say, I keep saying to people that I'm in a bit of a rebuild phase, and I use ChatGPT to go, help me work out what my brand identity is, please.
What did it say?
Knobhead.
Curry man.
Curry cock.
Oh no! You don't want to dip in there. No.
No. Yeah, but because I've been feeding loads of stuff into ChatGPT.
What,
so it gets
what
a
do you
bit.
mean by that? What,
So what the idea is, take a load of my content.
yeah.
Put it, LinkedIn posts. I get it to kind of learn who I am
Right.
as a person. Yeah, because the first thing I'd say to anyone who's either trying to work out AI or doesn't know how AI works for them,
Yeah.
get it to make a clone of you.
Yeah.
Get it to ask questions of you. Get yourself feeding lots of data and insight about who you are into it.
But you've got to create that data, right? I guess that's the hard part.
Totally. I mean,
like,
I guess
you've got to be creating the content. Or...
Yeah, and that's the thing. And again, you can use AI to help you kind of plan the content and look at brainstorming and all that kind of stuff for you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say, let it make you something and copy and paste it. I mean, that's one of my biggest bugbears. But I don't want to see a million rocket emojis on your post.
Mm-hmm.
But it's trying to get it to learn who you are and how you operate and what those things are. Get it to ask questions of you.
Yeah.
And then I've been finding so much more joy from doing that, and apart from the long dashes, which it keeps doing every once in a while.
Yeah.
But like I say, I've plugged a lot of my training content into it and go, right, okay, how can this become a training help for people?
Yeah.
And then I've gone into it and gone, how can I commoditize this? And it goes, you're a badass. I was like, no, that's not where we're at. But yeah, it's like, how can I create that? Because, just like you guys, I'm looking at monthly recurring revenue as opposed to, or annual recurring revenue as opposed to spot business, which is what, I guess I'm running more like a perm recruitment business rather than a contract business. And so I need to,
So that's how it works for you. You don't have any clients on like retainers that pay you
like
for...
some do,
right?
But
okay.
it's interchangeable at
so it's
times.
typically
as well.
you come in, deliver a set piece of a course, of
yeah,
sorts,
like a
and
course or something like that,
and then step out.
Or like I'm gonna try as you buy with someone, and then that might turn out into something bigger. And and like I say, it's just I'm trying lots of different things and seeing what works.
Yeah.
And again, as a business owner, I think it's not, it shouldn't be a bad thing to do those things.
Sure.
I think you should really try and see which works. Like, with a tech model, you're probably thinking, the fact no one would go, oh, you know what, we're going to make a free version. Everyone else in our industry goes, give me the monies. So the fact that you guys have gone, you know what, I'm actually going to help you guys out, but as you grow, we want to grow with you. Like,
that's
the fact that you've tried that, I love that.
Do you? Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because and again, that creates a good idea of, I'm creating free shit for the industry. Who is actually creating free shit in the industry? No one.
No, we all the time people go, what's the catch?
Yeah, exactly. What is the catch?
We get it all the time.
Exactly. And and it must be frustrating because you're going, well, no, sure, it's weird because in so many other sectors, aspects, whatever it is, there are free versions of everything. There's free ChatGPT if you want it. There's whatever that is. And then once you feel like you're getting to know how it works, you can choose to invest.
Yeah.
And that, that's a great model.
Yeah, I actually don't mind it because for me, when people do that, I'm like, well, at least it's different and at least it's turning heads.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that gave me a little bit of like, maybe we are doing the right thing now because people are responding to it. You know what I mean? Like it's a statement. And for us, like being a small business ourselves, what's brilliant now, like how many leads have we had past us today? How many have you had today?
I've had, 2 or 3 today, yeah.
I've had at least 2. So people now start like 5 leads today. That comes from these guys are doing something for free. You should chat to them, right? So like,
totally.
You put out that good aura, and then people go, "Oh, you're doing a good thing."
I think we've gone past that stage now where we have to try and screw each other over. And I think that there seems to be that that way of doing business is hopefully dying a bit of a death. And I'm all for it. I'll happily be at that funeral.
Yeah,
but. You're welcome.
I had a weird image in my head.
Yeah, just me going, just standing over the ground, pouring a sip on the concrete for the deceased. But I think people are now starting to see that if you do good for people, it comes back to you. And that's all you can ask for, really.
Yeah. And I think adding that value up front. And it must be hard for you as a coach, though, like to do that.
Yeah, like
how that's maybe why you're building those products, right? To try
exactly
and give something. Here, look, have this for free, and if you like my style, then
exactly that. Here's a free webinar that I did for someone a little while ago. This is the kind of stuff that I do. So if you like it, great. If you don't, that's all cool with me. Because I find it weird about the whole idea of competition because there's 30,000 recruitment agencies just in the UK alone.
Yeah.
And there's probably 100 trainers, maybe more, maybe less.
I have a clue.
Who knows, right? I've seen a few of them in the room. Like I went to an L&D 3.0 thing, and it was great to share some time with some of those people.
Yeah.
But maths nerd coming through.
Right.
If I look at it and there's 100 people and there's 30,000 agencies, there's 300 agencies for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't see.
And there'll be new ones coming all the
Yeah,
time.
and funny enough,
there'll be
speaking to
change.
Nitin, I don't know why Nitin Sharma's getting such a shout out. It's not like he's got anything going on with his own podcasts.
He's doing. I'll tell you what, he's doing.
Mate,
All right,
he's doing
Yeah.
phenomenally well.
Yeah.
Like I say, he's a bit like a brother to me. And
Is he?
Yeah.
How do you know him?
Honestly, only got to know him through his podcast, and
Okay.
then like right before he kind of set off and really went into it. And so we've only really known each other about 4 or 5 years,
Right,
and it's just
okay.
been it's just been really nice. Like
Nice.
he's
You both live close, don't you? Fairly close.
yeah, he's in Coventry, I'm in Birmingham,
yeah.
and yeah, it's just been kind of nice, and we've really gotten to know each other through the Curry Club, which
Yeah.
has been awesome. Like I say, it's just good to get to know people.
Yeah.
You also get to know some people who you don't want to know. And that's cool.
Yeah, of course. You're going
Keep them at arm's length,
You're gonna
and the
get
best
that.
part
You're
is
gonna
you've
get
tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a bit like when it's like I say to trainees, like, you're obviously going to learn from failure, and when you were a kid, you definitely looked at that radiator and said, "I'm going to touch it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your
We all
parents said,
Don't
"No, don't do it, Luke."
It's like the hot plates you get when you have
Yeah,
a curry
right.
every time, isn't it?
Look, that sizzling place, that can't be that hot.
I'll still do it. Yeah.
3rd degree burns later.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's the thing, we learn from these things, and it's all about learning. I guess it seems to be a theme. Learn from your fuck ups.
And
Why
then-
not?
Yeah.
It's what you learn from those fuck ups that help you improve.
Yeah. Well, they're on fucking up and things like that. When I was a kid, I had the naughty corner, and I used to get put in the naughty corner. And a good little story is his nan used to say that she never knew what I looked like, because every time she saw me, she just saw the back of my head, because I just stood in the naughty corner.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but you're right though. Unless you go through those things and you feel it for yourself, it doesn't.
Yeah,
It's very difficult to learn in that, and you have to.
Mate, totally.
experience it.
And that's what you got to try different things. I mean, if you're just there doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same results or better results, you're never going to get anywhere. So why not try something?
Nice, yeah, for sure, dude. I'm gonna wrap it. We've done an hour and 10 minutes. Do you know what? You've been absolutely phenomenal from the
Yeah.
get-go. Literally, I don't know. Don't take this the wrong way, but I didn't expect you to be as funny as you are. I really didn't. Like, when you came in and just like the choir thing, the Madagascar thing, early doors,
Mate, I'm
I was
happy to
not
take the piss
expecting
out
it.
of myself as
Oh,
much.
mate, it's been
because
phenomenal.
I think if you don't take the piss out of yourself, then what are you?
Oh.
And we live in an industry where people try and take themselves too seriously, but
Yeah.
but hopefully people can feel like they
Mate.
have a chat with us, and that's what everything that I'm trying to do is based on.
If people don't laugh from this, then yeah, there's something wrong, because it's been phenomenal. But what time do we have to get to Reading for, by the way?
Mate, about 5-ish. So we've got time, mate. We've got
We've
time.
only got half an hour.
Oh, it's 5-4.
Yeah.
I can't read.
Yeah.
Evidently.
You've got
That's a whole education for you. Bringing it back.
Mr. Curry Man.
Yeah. Well, we can. Yeah.
needs to
Well,
be-
5. Well, 5:30. But quick question before we end.
Yeah,
up.
yeah, of course.
Where the hell did that theme tune come from? It is now going to be in my head. It's almost going to be as bad
do
in
you
my
like-
head as that Bob Mortimer song from Last One Laughing.
The gig at
what-
Rest.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
That was AI.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So our co-founder James, he put it into an AI tool, and he wrote the lyrics. Your boss at recruitment, and you're going alone.
I mean, that is
You've got your
phenomenal.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
account on your mobile phone. Yeah, he wrote that, and he put that into not ChatGPT. He found a jingle AI tool that we paid £20 for the month or something like that to get access for it. And then we were just playing around with it, saying, "Can you make it funny? Can you make it this? Can you make it that?"
Yeah.
Did you realise it was AI? that
No,
did it?
not really.
You
Oh,
wouldn't,
right. Yeah. Because actually, right, if you listen very carefully, the second time it says gig, it actually says jig.
Gee.
Yeah. It says
Love
jig.
that.
Yeah. But I'm glad you liked it, because I feel like it kind
No,
of.
because I
summarised
actually
the
thought you just almost got that guy who does the Chris Wood song on.
I've not seen him.
Oh, there's a
Not
song about
seen
if Chris Wood, then Chris Wood could.
Right.
Right.
This is Chris Wood, the not.
The Not Forest, yeah,
The Not
because
Forest
basically
striker.
talking about his amazing season, he's just
Yeah,
gone into
yeah,
it. and
Yeah.
go, I love Chris Wood.
Maybe we need to tap that guy up.
Yeah, or in my baritone voice, it'd be, I love Chris Wood. But yeah, I didn't want you to think.
I was wondering if we were going to get
Yeah,
a little
totally.
rendition.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I loved it. And I was like,
Thank you.
I'm definitely going to try and steal that jingle.
Well,
Well, not that jingle,
when,
but
when we launched
because
it,
at the
we were all
moment
just
we're going with
singing it.
I Love Curry, which is probably not great because it sounds a bit weird.
Well, I love curry.
I love curry, you love curry.
Well, actually, you're perfect.
You
You're
should
perfect.
do
You should
it.
do the jingle.
No, absolutely not.
100% you should 100% do the jingle.
We'll send this to Nitin and see what he says.
Yes, I'll clip it up. I'll send it in it. But you should be you could do a little video and you could do a jingle, and yeah, I'd be all over it, I think.
Mate, awesome.
Thank you so
much.
Yeah. Cheers, dude.
Cheers, man. No worries. Oh, that was horrible. Where's the? That's better. And you, more like it.
I'm looking forward to joining you tonight.
Yeah, mate.
Like I say, it's got a load of people. You've got the candidates playing hard to get. Whether they'll call you next week or a no, not yet. So much time of going to and fro. You got another offer, or salary's too low. Hours or searching and hours of stress. Come on, candidates, just Giig it a rest.